All right, hopefully y'all can see that. There we go. Hi guys. All right, I'm just gonna get you on my computer while everybody comes in real quick. I'm gonna adjust you guys. Hello, hello. I'm gonna adjust you just for a second because I know you could see more before. Well, that is what I'm gonna show you how to make. It's actually really easy, guys. I know they always look difficult, but they're really not. I promise they're not. Can you guys hear me all right? Actually, I'm gonna ask that same question when I sit down. Oops. There. Okay, good, good, good. All right, I know I am going to be on a little bit of delay for me seeing your questions or anything like that, so I apologize ahead of time if it takes me a minute to answer you. Unfortunately, I kept trying to get I'm in a new house and I don't know what's going on with outlets and chargers and things like that, but for some reason my tablet wouldn't charge. It was like on 14%, and I had it on charging the whole scope. I had it off and charging and it just wouldn't do it. So you're on my computer. My computer tends to be delayed. So again, I apologize. How's the picture looking? Is it okay? So that way I know if I should turn on my Wi-Fi or not. Sometimes Wi-Fi better, sometimes regular phone signals get better. So hearts if you see the picture just fine. We're good? Okay, no blurriness, no funkiness. Okay, good. So we'll get started. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Monique Leslie. I'm Misfit Crafter. I'm Misfit Crafter on all social media, just like it says. So on like everything, you can find me there. I will post this up to my website, and I will list all of the supplies I used, and I'll probably repost this video on there as well. It's a little pixelated, okay. But I'll list everything on there. I'll have the full tutorial, and I'll have links to where you can find everything. So I'm going to sit down. We're going to get started. Like I said, there's going to be a little bit of a delay on whatever I can see now since I'm sitting down looking at my computer. So this is what we're making. Let me get this out of the way. We're going to be making this cute little card. It's actually easier than it looks. You can make it pretty quickly, and I'll show you everything we used, okay? So I'm going to put this guy aside. We're just going to put him over here. And all you're going to need is like a few different brushes. I use some stippling brushes or some stencil brushes just for some of the bits, but you don't totally need, it can be really anything. Q-tips, that'll work too. First thing we're going to use is this, which is just a corrugated card base. Got this at Michael's a while back. Craft so much, but tons, some boxes for the corrugated part. Exactly. So if you just have like a plain card and you want to put some corrugate on the top, that works perfectly. It doesn't have to be like a pre-made base. It just happens to be, I had this set and I'm going to use them today. So that's what we're doing with this guy. You're going to need that. We use some Prima paste. This is their new Patina Effects paste, so hopefully you can see that just fine. It comes with a set like this is the mint green, the brass, and the blue. And this makes it give you like a patina, brassy, coppery looking effect. I'm going to use some Brutus Monroe Reinker in Wagon. I'm going to use these cute little reindeer shapes. They've had them so far like 3 years in a row at Michael's, so I'm really hoping they have them again. But just some little cute reindeer shape. We're going to use, it's very little bit, but this is just snow, like that weird snow, you know, bags of snow that you can get at Michael's mixed with some clear glitter. We're going to use some Stampendous Gold Luxe Mix. And I love this stuff because it's glitter and some like gold mica flakes. We're also going to use Brutus Monroe stamp. Now, I've been using Brutus Monroe for a while, since the beginning, so I have the older stamp version, just so you know. But this is Jurassic. Some 3-in-1 glue, some water. Whoa, that was bad. Almost dropped that. Just some gesso. That's just basic Liquitex gesso. And then I'm gonna pull this out here. This is my giant thing of twine. You don't need this much. We just need a little strand off of this. We're gonna use some of that, and we're gonna use 2 different dyes. The first one is a Tim Holtz Alterations by Sizzix, and this one is Tattered Poinsettia. So Tattered Poinsettia, or however you want to say it. And then the other one is also Tim Holtz Alteration. It's these little guys. It's 17 dyes. It's holiday words for the script, and it's just for the little Noel that's in here. You can see that. So that's just for that part. We're gonna use that, just some brushes, things like that. And I think that's it for that part. So we're gonna get started by just getting our base ready. I have just a couple little trays that I'm using to put everything in. And there's a nice big cup of soapy water right here just for my brushes. And my little Noel is right here, so I don't lose that guy. So we're gonna start just with a slightly bigger brush just to get the whole base started. So you're just gonna get your gesso on. Mine might kind of be a little dry because this is from when I was doing the project earlier. But you're just gonna get the gesso and you're just gonna really quickly cover your card base. You don't have to completely cover it. You want it to have that kind of shabby little look. So you're just going to brush that on everywhere. I think I need a little bit more. When I took this off earlier, there was a giant tube of just dried gesso on there. So our heat can dry stuff so quickly. All winter this was fine, and then the heat came. Like I said, it's 115. Last time I checked, 115 in Vegas. So hot. So we're just gonna get that. My brushes are a little bit wet just because they were soaking from me using them before. So really simple. We're just gonna go on here. We're gonna prep this. And you don't need too much in the middle because it's gonna get covered by paper anyway, so you don't need a lot. Move it up a little. Is it way too low? About right there, okay? Like I said, sorry, I'm delayed, so it might have taken me a minute to move it up, but that's all we're done. Like I said, you don't need anything in the middle really, just the edges, and you can go as far out on the edges as you want. This will help paint stick to it just as much. Oh, you know what? Totally forgot to put a paper there. Sorry, give me 1 sec. There we go. I want to totally kill my desk here. I'm in my room today, not in my craft studio. Just because I haven't been feeling too great, so I've just kind of been sticking in my room. And my craft studio gets hot. 51 in the house. Oh, great. I'm trying to keep my air conditioning from overloading. Keep trying to keep it at 78 and it's just too hot. All right, so we're just gonna do that ahead of time and we're just gonna put that aside for a bit. So that's all ready. We're just gonna put it to the side for a minute. While that is drying for just a little bit, we're gonna get our next piece ready, which is this paper under here, which you can barely see, but that's probably the one that takes the longest to dry. And then we'll cut out our some pieces. So all I used for that was a scrap off of the DCWV. It's the 12 by 12 premium stack. This is the craft paper stack. This one though, it's a little thicker than the regular craft paper sheets that you'd get, say, remember I work at Michael's, and you don't know this, I work at Michael's, so everything, just about everything I get is at Michael's. And I just ripped off a piece, literally just ripped a piece. We're gonna use more of this. We can actually use any scrap off of it, but that's what I used for that middle piece. So I want it to be very, I guess, natural looking as much as possible. Vintagey, and I'm just tearing the sides real quick. Sorry if I go off camera. See, there's no right or wrong way to do it, except, now here's just a little trick in case you don't know, but if you rip up the piece that you want to get rid of, you'll get this nice little jaggedy piece. If you're ripping down or you use this side to rip up, then you're gonna get the more smooth side. And I want that more kind of ripped up look on it, so I ripped up. So we're gonna get that, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna get a little gesso on here, and gesso dries actually really quick, especially right here in Vegas right now. In general, it dries fairly quick. Hello. And don't forget to share, just in case. But we're just gonna do a light brushing of gesso on this guy. Not too bad, but I want everything to stick nicely. So I'm using it more for a primer than anything else. And that's really quick. And literally it'll probably dry by the time I get everything else out right now. And then just don't forget, make sure you stick these in water right away or rinse them off right away if you can. So I have the water here. So I'm just gonna shove that in there. That's when my water is gonna turn white, just to get that going. And I literally just put a couple squirts of soap in there just so it doesn't completely kill everything with the water. And gesso. And you can feel it, gesso has like a sandy feeling, so that's a great part. Okay, so now we're gonna play with our Patina Effects paste by Prima. So these are our Finnabar Prima product. So these are called Art Extravagance. So we're gonna use this, and you can see it's green. It's really, this is heavy, and it's sandy. It's kind of great. So it has a really sandy grit to it. And I'm just gonna get this little stencil brush, and I'm gonna go right in there and just grab that, because you want some thick spots. So we're just gonna go in there and we're gonna stipple that down. So you can either do it like this, you can grab a palette knife. I just like that it pulls up, I guess, on it. We're just gonna go on there, all over the place. Like I said, you don't need too much in the middle on this one either, but I do want a little bit, just so it's not like stark. So we're just gonna put that in there. I love this paste, Dana, when I got it. I wanna make everything out of it. On Instagram, you can see the last thing I made with it. I've been having fun with this paste. Now, if you really wanna get like a big chunky spot, you can like do that and just kinda scoop it out instead, just to really get it in there. So we are going to put this all over the place. And you especially want it to show, because this is going to be kind of this lower portion right here, so the chunkier you make it, the better, because you'll have more bits to like adhere to, and that's what I want. Yeah, they just started. They only have like they have the paste, and they have actually some of their own like flakes. They have some, what else is it? There's that, micro beads. There's a couple things that they have. All right, so this one you need to do in a couple layers. So you're gonna kind of go back and forth, because this one takes the longest to dry. We'll let you know that. So I'm just kind of scooping everything off that I can on this. I do want a couple of chunky spots in there this time. All right, so we're gonna let that go. Close that one, okay, and this is the mint green paste, so that's the one you're starting with. And I am going to soak that guy. Yeah, it is huge. I love this, Michaels. But it's like, don't you wanna, oh gosh, it is, I wanna say for the paste, it is something like $20 something, close to 30, because I remember I said with like discounts and stuff, I think I got it for 13, something like that, 13 or 15. And then of course I get my discount on top of it. So I know I paid less. I think I only paid 10. That's the advantages of working at Michael's. So we're gonna let this dry for a second, because it is really, really wet. So this one does take a little while. That's why I wanted you guys to start with this guy. So the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to prep our string real quick. This one's really, really quick. All you're doing is getting about 12 inches of string. You don't even need to know. You don't even need that much probably. But I just want it so that it makes it a little stiff. This one's a little too small, so I need to do another one. But I want it just a little bit of, just a little stiff. So I'm using my smaller stipple brush just so I can grab a good amount of gesso. And I'm just grabbing the gesso. Mine holding up pasting card. Pasting card. And like I said, I'm going to have all of this on my website. It's misfitcrafter.com. I'll have a list of all of the ingredients, everything that I use. And yes, I like to call them ingredients because it's like cooking to me. But I'll list everything, so don't worry, you'll be able to get them there. And this is the paste. So if you need to see that, there's the paste. It's called Patina paste, or Patina Effect paste. And it comes in sets. There's 2 sets it's Michael's carrying. The other one I want to say is more of a tarnished look. Or like a, I forget, like more of a coppery look. If you look online, I know they're listed on there right now. So all I'm doing is running the string just straight through the brush with the gesso. And I'm just gonna do that a couple times. And I just pound it on there just to get it covered in gesso, just so it stiffens it up. You can also use waxed string. You can find wax string, I know at Michael's, like in the leather section, but it's kind of expensive for a really small thing. I think this giant roll, if you saw the roll, I think I want to say I paid like $11, $12 for the giant roll of string, so I'm never gonna run out, like ever. So I'm just checking it. My fingers are gonna get covered, guys. My fingers are always covered in something. So I'm just checking to make sure I feel it, that it's all wet. So I'm just gonna set that aside to let that dry. Where did I have you last time? Okay. Sorry, I'm just putting that aside. And I'm just rubbing this out so it doesn't get on everything else. So the next things we're gonna do is cut out all of our pieces real quick. And I'm just gonna move this for a second so I can get my machine up here. I will have to turn it sideways though. If some of my machine's off camera, I apologize, but it's the only way I can fit it. Okay, so we're just gonna use a Sizzix for this. You can use any machine. This is the die cut, and like I said, it is Tattered Poinsettias by Tim Holtz or Sizzix Alterations. We're gonna use that. Now, the paper pad that I used for this is called Letters from Home. It's by DCWV. They're double-sided. This is why I love this, because I hate it when my other side's like white. It drives me crazy. So we're gonna use this. I already pulled my piece out of there. And we're gonna need two. So this is the piece that I have. It has like taped up letters on one side, and then this really pretty, it's like a faint pink color, like a pinky peach color with white writing. And I love it because it has that little bit of a pink look to it. So we're gonna use this. You wanna cut out two of them. Sorry, I'm just making my sandwich off camera here real quick. Oops. This piece is just a little too big. Sorry, I had to rip off a little piece. The piece is just a little too big. And I want to use, whoa, don't do that. I want to use this side, so I'm putting that one down because when you put it through the machine, it tends to put just a little bit of a push on it, where it rounds the edge, I guess you can say, and I want that to go the opposite direction. I'm sometimes picky about that. That's probably about as picky as you'll ever see me get. So we're just gonna run this here. Up real quick. And you do pieces of paper at the same time if you more than handle it. I do have some already cut out though, so. Oh, I do need, I think, a small piece. Yeah, I do need a small one. So this is what it looks like, all cut out. And you can see, you see how there's like, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a little raised edge. I like the raised edge to like go down. So it gives it a cleaner edge on the sides. So one piece, two piece, two piece. Oh, weird, that folded. That's the little middle piece. Are you seeing it pixelated now? I keep hearing things like pop up. I don't know if people are messaging me or what, and they're killing my connection. That might be it, so I apologize. So here's one. And I need just the small guy. So I'm running it back through real quick just to get the small guy because I need another small one. Oh, I am seeing it pixelated myself actually when I'm looking at it. So let me run this real quick. Are you hearing me okay, or am I sounding pixelated also? Because that makes a difference too. All right, so that's my other piece. So I just needed that small piece because I have another one already cut out. That's Twitter. All right, so there's my other piece. Okay, I'm gonna put that die aside for now. All right, and then we're gonna cut out. Now this is the extended multi-purpose platform that came with one of my Sizzix. I have way too many die cut machines. So that we can just cut out our little Noel. And this pack comes with Noel, Merry Bright, Twinkle, Merry Christmas, whatever you want, you can do it. Oh yeah, I kept hearing the bling. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why it's going off like crazy. My notifications always go off the wrong time. So I just used a scrap piece off of the same paper that I used back here. So it's the same paper, it's the same craft stock. So I'm just using that. So we're just gonna put that underneath. There's no need. Sometimes people tape it and stuff because sometimes they move. Right now there's actually a little moisture in the air, so nothing's sticking, which is nice. Ooh, got that just at the edge though. There's not a lot of static right now, which is great. Usually there's static like mad. Oh, I just got that on the edge. So there's my little tiny piece cut out. So let me get all this out of the way. You hear me? Okay, that's good. All right. So here's my little piece. Here's all my little pieces. I'm gonna bring my board back so I don't make a giant mess on my desk. And then I'm gonna grab, this is the Tool It All. I love this thing because it comes with all these little attachments that you can put on the end, and it comes with this little brayer. It also comes with a little brush. I missed what you said, I'm sorry. It also comes with like a little brush that spins so that if you have like a big die that has really intricate parts, you can like rub it on and all the pieces fall off really nicely. But right now I just need to get out some of these smaller bits. This is just to help pop it out of there. Actually, I'm missing one piece of this. Just driving me crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to get my tweezers. Tweezers to the rescue. So right now I'm just popping out my little guy. So if it ever gets stuck, there's little holes on the back that help you pop out your die cut. Should I loosen that guy up now? You just want to be careful because it's really thin. But that's what I love about this die. It's super duper 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 thin, but I love it. Okay, so that's that little guy. So we're just gonna prep all our pieces. So the Noel, you're gonna prep by just getting a little brush, and actually I want a smaller brush than that so I don't tear it. I'm just getting a little brush, and then I am going to use the brass paste. This one is way smoother than that guy, and you'll see it when we use it on there, but I am just going to paint the brass onto the Noel piece. Next is Denise. So Denise, make sure you stick up some emojis so everybody knows where to go. So I'm just gonna paint this guy up real fast. And this paste, this particular brass paste actually dries almost instantly. It dries really fast. So I'm just gonna put that guy right there for right now. I'm gonna close this guy up. Again, wet my brush. Right, so we're gonna get these pieces ready now. So one of them is gonna require all 4 pieces. So you need all 4 of these pieces to go on it. Yeah, Denise is next. So again, Denise, make sure you put up your emojis or something so they know where to go. And then your other piece is just these 3 pieces, because that's going to make the smaller flower on there. So you can see big flower, small flower. All it is, you're eliminating a piece. So we're just going to get this ready, and we are going to do this part. Move that guy to the side. So what I did for this, I used the Brutus Monroe reinker. This is Wagon, and the reason I used the reinker instead, 2 reasons I used the reinker instead of the actual pad. One, I can't find my pad, which is driving me crazy. Sure, it's here somewhere. I'm still unpacking stuff. But I wanted to make sure the color was really a deep, deep, deep color. So what I'm just doing, I already put some in there, and I'm just getting it on the edge. But I'm taking some of it off just so I don't end up with a big giant like splatter of it. But before I add the ink on here, I am just gonna give it a quick spritz to all of these so that I want the water to kind of spread out a little bit. I mean the color to spread out a little bit. So this helps just do it a little bit better. So I'm just gonna ink the edges up real quick. let's do this. I'm gonna do this as quick as I can. So while I'm doing this, let's find out where everybody's from and tell me how hot it is there. So I'm like jealous because it's so hot here. It'd be great if I had a pool, but I have no pool. I'm hoping to only live here for about a year. Yes, I used a dye. This one's called Tattered Poinsettias by Tim Holtz, or by Sizzix. It's one of the alteration dyes. It's the heavier dye, the thicker dyes. All right, so you can add as much or as little as you want. If you want it really, really red, add some more. But I want some of the words to go through, to see through. So all I'm gonna do is curl this around my finger. I'm literally just pulling. And this is one of the other reasons that I use the spray bottle for this. This helps to make sure that you don't get that broken, bent look. This helps curl it a little bit better. So it gives you less of a harsh bend in it. Oh, I love my Brutus Monroe inks. And this is the chalky ink that I'm using for this one, or the chalky ink refill. And like I said, if any of my Brutus Monroe looks different from your Brutus Monroe, is because I've been using this since day one. And so sometimes my bottles and things look different. So, see that? From Melbourne. Ooh. Oh yeah, it's winter there. It's not a bad place to live. You just have to get used to it. I've been here, gosh, 12 years? My son's 11. So yeah, 12 years. I've been here for 12 years. It's crazy. Still can't believe I've been here that long. Yeah, it's still wet. I'm just getting more ink. 91. See, I would kill for 91. 91 would be fabulous right now. I'm like, the only place that has this beat is Arizona, or is pretty darn close. I think we keep going back and forth between Arizona and us. Brutus Monroe products, yes they are. You have the old inks too? Yeah, see, I still have the one that has like the black cap. So you can't really see what it says. I'm just re-wetting it because it wasn't very wet still. But this helps control your ink too if you wet it. And like I said, it helps when you want to curl your flowers, or whatever it is, paper that you want to curl, so you don't get that harsh bendy look. Whoa, almost ran away. So we're gonna get those really quick. I apologize, should have gotten a couple flowers ready early, but this way you can see exactly what I do. So we're gonna put that aside. Do another one. I know, I heard, that's crazy. Breaking a lot of records this year, it's kind of scary. It's been so crazy hot. I think we broke a record on the first day of summer too. Hottest on record again for that day. See, I couldn't find my my set. I have a box full of inks, and the ones that I have in here, I have a whole like case of Brutus Monroe that I keep everything in. And the ones that I have in here are actually my samples that I give out to stores whenever I want to introduce Brutus Monroe to anybody, or to like just people in general. I give them like little samples, and I can't find my actual thing. And I know I have it because it was one of the things, you know, where you put it someplace so that you remember where to get it from, and then you can't remember where that place is. Yeah, that's I think what happened to those right now. I mean, because I use them all the time, but after moving, I cannot find anything. We're still trying to unpack the craft studio. It's crazy. This is why I haven't done a scope on the craft studio yet, guys, because it's a disaster still. It's like coconut. All right, so we're almost done here. And while all this is happening, all your other pieces are drying, so everything will be nice and ready for you. Almost done. Now this one is the middle of the smaller flower, and I did make this one just a little redder. This one got just a little more covered than the others. And we'll do some more stuff to it after too, so don't think I'm done. We're never done. So we're just gonna curl those again. All right, so we got all those pieces. Those are all the red pieces. The centers are actually green. That's where this one comes in. I'm just gonna wet those guys up again. Now again, this is the Brutus Monroe. This is Jurassic, and like I said, I have this. I have the older pads. The newer ones are square, or you can get minis. I'm trying to grab the minis for you. This is what the minis look like. So you can get minis too. Like I said, this is my sample box, and it has all my re-inkers. Yeah, you always want to spritz when curling edges, because if not, see how this one bent? There's that sharp crease, and that's what ends up happening when you don't wet, when you curl the edges. And you don't want to soak it. You just want to give it a good mist. Front and back if it's really thick paper. If it's not too thick, just the front is enough. So just greening those up a little. All right, so that is done with that one. Okay, so now we'll let those just, I guess, harden up, dry off a little bit. Then we're gonna go back to our card base. And on the card base, I just ran a bit of color like all over it. So I added a bit of the Jurassic. Like I said, you can do as much or as little as you want. But I want it to have a Christmas look, but I want it to not be stark red and white yet. I mean stark red and green. Remember, the middle is going to get covered with paper, so you want to pay attention to your edges. So, green on that guy. I'm going to go back to the red over here. I didn't put as much red. I just wanted a little red since the flowers are already red. You don't need a lot. Just a little here and there. Alright. So that's all set and ready. I have that. I am number, what, 5 now? Yeah, so there's one more after me, and I'm sure everybody's going to keep their scopes up so you can go back to the replays after. Alright, so those dry, we're going to go back to this piece here. Now for the most part, this is pretty dry. It still needs to completely dry, so the back is a little damp, but it's ready for us to keep moving on. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the blue paste. So we're going to get this guy. This one is textured between the green and the brass. This one is really thick. It has a tiniest, like, you can barely feel kind of grit to it. It basically feels like gesso is what this feels like, and you see that pigment is there. My fingers are going to be dyed probably for the rest of the day. This one has a really, really sandy grit, so I'm hoping you guys can see that. This one's like a super thick grit to it, whereas the blue one is more like a gesso grit, a really fine sand. So let me see. I think this is my blue. So I'm just doing the same thing. This is a stipple brush or stencil brush, and I'm just gonna plop that in there real good so I can make sure I can get some blue off. And I'm just gonna take a little off because I don't want it to get too much on there. And I'm just gonna go over my green. And you don't wanna like rub it in, because if you rub it in, you're gonna take off some of that green. Unless that's what you need to do. If that's what you wanna do, you can rub it and it'll take off some of your green. So I'm just going over it. This is a gorgeous blue, I love this blue. Like I said, sorry guys if I'm delayed behind your comments or questions. So I'm just getting in there with this guy. And this one dries a lot. I know. Believe me, I think people are so used to my fingers already, they don't even say anything anymore. I'm always full of paint or something. My jeans, like, forget it. Like right now I have a piece of canvas over my legs so I could try not to mess up my favorite sweats, but we'll see. That's where I'm wiping everything off. And you can put as much or as little as you want. And you can see like there's chunks falling off after, but it makes it so pretty. The first one was Anthony, and then was Karen, Joy, Sharon, then me, Monique, and then Denise. So Denise is next. So Denise, remind everybody. All right, so that's all in there. So that one's good to go. So that one's gonna go in here. It's getting rinsed off. And then we are going to go back. Oop, I forgot to put that one in there. Yeah, we'll use that. Just drying off my brush real quick so I can use that again. Yeah, so stipple brush. Now we're gonna go back to the brass paste so we can go ahead and add the rest of the effect. Now this one, like I said, it dries faster. Once that green is dry, you can just kind of go to town on it. And we're just gonna stipple that in. Remember, you really wanna push it in because the whole point is it's a patinaed brass, so you want it to look aged. You don't want it to look super shiny, although that gives you the greatest shine ever. Oh, and you can smell the metal, I will tell you that. It smells like metal. So you just wanna push that in there. And you wanna just make sure it gets pushed in there. And if you have to go back, you know, with the color, like if you overdo it, like I just did, because I kind of want not so much in there. There. Yeah. Oh, the music. I just have the cable thing on. I think it's on the alternative something. Alternative adult alternative station, I think is what it's called. So we're just putting that in there. And then we're gonna put this on. That's not it, it's that one over there. My mom's trying to be all quiet and sneak in here. My daughter left the remote from downstairs in here. But you can see, that's what we're doing for that guy. And then I'm just gonna take, so sorry if I missed anybody's comments or anything. I'm just gonna take it and do my edges as well. So you're gonna put the brass on the edges. I love these pastes. Hopefully we're doing okay on time. What time is it, guys? Am I like way over? Sorry. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, we're finishing up. We're almost there. So we're gonna do these edges. See, edge, edge, edge. Okay, so that's all done. Oh, and then we need to paint our little guy real fast. You can use the same brush if you want. But we're gonna paint our little wooden guy. I said the brass seems to dry really fast. Just trying to get it off the edge of his body right there. There we go, brass dry. Okay. So all we have left is to put this on the card. And I'm doing it this way, so like it sits like that. So that's gonna be the front. Now I'm using Beacon 3-in-1 glue, Advanced Craft Glue, the big bottle. The big bottle they sell at Joann's. Michael's, right now all I've seen is the smaller bottle, but I think you can get the bigger bottle online. And I always use my coupon because it's a little pricey, but I love this glue. But I'm using that because it sticks really fast, but it still gives you a little wiggle time. I call it my cold hot glue because it does leave strings if you pull it away. So just be aware of that. So we get that, and we are going to assemble our poinsettia real quick. So I'm just gonna add a little glue to the back here. Now the thing is, you want to make sure you play with moving it around so that each petal falls between the other petals, because depending on which way you push it, it'll almost line up exactly, or one of them won't be in between. So make sure you play with it just to make sure to find that center correctly. Unless you want it layered like that, but I like it not to be too much like that. And these ones, I don't want them to be too curled, so I'm popping them up a little. See? Yep. So you got to spin it so that make sure it goes in between each one. So there's that one. And we are going to put the center, see, strings. So that's your center right there. That's one's done. Next one. Yeah. When I first saw people using it, I was like, okay, I have my other glues. I love glossy accents too. That dries really fast, but that one does not give you as much of a play time. Where this one, like if I get it stuck wrong, I can move it a little bit. Glossy accents is really great for big chunky things like this too, but it dries paper to paper in like 6 seconds, which I love for making like rosettes and stuff. But when I need some time, I use the Beacon 3-in-1. The glues strings are not too bad. It's just that I'm kind of rushing through it. All right, so we're gonna put these guys on real quick. So we're gonna put our first flower down. I'm gonna do it so that this more open flower goes that way. So our poinsettia's right there. I'm just holding that down for a second. Remember, it's trying to attach to all this grit. So I'm not sure what is that right. And then the next one. Let's see, I want to move that over because it wasn't quite where I wanted it. We're going to put the next one down. Okay. And then I'm going to use the same glue and we're just going to put the center in. And I'm just moving that glue around a little, moving that glue around a little. And this is where our Stampendous, it's called Stampendous Fantage Gold Luxe Mix. So we're doing that right here. Okay, so we're going to get, I use my tweezers just to mix it up really good and just to grab a bit, and I just pour that on. And then I just pour that on. And I just push it down. Sorry guys, I know I'm running over my time, but I don't want to leave you with an unfinished project either. I apologize. Okay. Took a little longer than I thought it was going to take. So I'm taking some of those flakes away. Oops, did I lose you? Oh no, we're still okay. Okay. My screen froze. Wasn't sure if you guys froze too. All right, so there. And then we're just going to go in here with some glue. And I go ahead and just let it kind of haphazardly go where it wants. And we're going to add a little more glue, a little more glitter and flakes in between here. And I kind of just let it fall. Oh my goodness. Daughter's been using Skype like crazy with her friends. It's driving me nuts because all I'm hearing is my Skype going off on my computer. Okay, sorry. Alright, so I put a little bit in there, and then we're going to go back to our string real quick, and actually I should have probably did the string first, but it's alright. Either way. So I'm just getting an idea of how big I need it, and I just like to make a double loop, and then I'm just going to chop a little off. And right under here, I'm just adding a dab of glue. I'm grabbing this. Now I'm using my tweezers. Whoa, that would have been bad. I'm using my tweezers because they are Teflon coated, so I can get the glue off pretty easy. So I'm just squishing that down. And then I'm just making a loop. I'm making a small loop. And then I'm making a big loop. And you can make as many loops as you want. And just pushing that down. I'm just going to get a little piece of that to go down. Alright. Throw that down in there. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a little more of the patina effect paste. that off, and I'm actually adding just a little water on it so that I don't have to rub onto anything, because I don't want to rub anything off. So I'm actually just pouncing that off a little, because I'm actually going to put a little on this string. It's just my little rag and just getting a little bit dry, because I also want to add it to my flowers just a little here and there. And I like having that little bit of a brush look on it, because I want it to look like on purpose somebody like I should say I want it to look like someone accidentally like brushed it with something. But it gives it that pretty shine. I'll put that there. Alright, the other thing I did, as quick as I can do this, is I added just a few of these little flaky guys. Put it here, it's easy to grab that way. And this is that weird like plastic looking snowflakes that you can get, like of course like at Michael's or whatever. And it's just a little bit of white glitter, and I'm just pushing that in the other glue that's in there. Like I said, I'm using the Teflon coated, get in there, tweezers so that it doesn't stick too much. Thank you, thank you. You just do the same thing on both sides. You can add as much or as little as you want, but I want it to have at least a little snow in there. I didn't grab a whole lot, so that's, you might not even notice it on the other card. I only put a tiny bit. There's so much glue on that, it sticks everywhere. Okay. So next is just the Noel, and you can do this a million different ways. You can use a glue pen. You can use a Xyron because it's so small. I'm literally just putting little dabs of glue everywhere on this. So it's just got a little glue on it. And I'm just gonna push that down so it sticks. And then we're last, I'm just gonna get this guy. See that? Glue strings. Ooh, that's annoying. And it has a tiny little glue dot on the back. It's so annoying. So get that off. And we're just gonna stick some glue on the back of that guy. He's gonna go there. And you can have him prancing up, you can have him prancing sideways, whichever you want. But there we go, that's it, all done. Hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for taking so dang long. Like I said, I was hoping that was gonna go just a little faster. Just gonna hide that string a little bit. But we will see you on the next scope. Again, misfitcrafter.com. I will list all the ingredients, all the supplies, so you can get all of that, okay? Thank you guys so much. Niece, next, pop up some emojis so they can hit your scope next. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again. Bye, guys. You're going to get wobbly because I got to pull down the phone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.